Two easy ways to make your wife sexy again. Now, this can apply to any girl you're seeing. Could be a wife, a woman that you're married to in a long term and committed relationship. Could be a girlfriend, someone you've been dating and seeing for a long time. Could be a more casual relationship, a girl that you see on and off. The method that I teach here you can use on any girl as long as you have some kind of romantic connection with her. And it's something I figured out after years of dating and marriage. I tested and tried different things, and I figured out this is what works really well. And it doesn't actually involve a lot of effort from you or your wife. And it works so well that I think you'll be really amazed if you try it. And it could actually lead to the best sex of your life because of the lust and the thrill that's built up when you genuinely make your wife sexy again. This is the cold, hard fact. If there is no physical connection in your relationship, it's a dead relationship. It doesn't matter if you're married to this woman. Doesn't matter how much you love each other in an emotional and spiritual sense. When the physical connection dies, which is essentially how attractive you find her, and conversely, how attractive she finds you, the relationship is dead. And this includes if she finds you very sexy. You're a hardworking man, you work out, you take care of your physique. She's very attracted to you. But you're not attracted to her. She may be conventionally good looking, but you simply just don't get hard thinking about her. If that's the type of relationship you're in, where you don't find your wife sexy, if you don't address this right now, that will lead to a dead relationship. Physical connection is equally as important as emotional connection. So that's how well you understand each other, and spiritual connection. That's how you dedicate your life towards the other person. Most men, based on this equation, are stuck in a dead marriage. Their wife could be their best friend. They get along so well. But he can't remember the last time he got an erection thinking about his wife. She can't remember the last time he touched her in a way that made her roll her eyes back. The last time he looked at her with eyes that penetrated her virtue sexually. Most men don't find their wife sexy anymore, not because she's ugly or she's become unattractive. It's simply because she doesn't put effort into the right things anymore. When you're single, as a man or a woman, you're actively trying to attract a mate. So you put active amounts of effort, huge amounts of time and effort, towards things that make you physically attractive. Working out, eating healthy, grooming yourself, but also what kind of clothes you wear, how you style your hair as a woman, the type of makeup, the amount that you put on, how you present yourself, how you speak, the choice of words, your personality, your body language. Many women, when they enter a committed long-term relationship, they stop putting in this kind of active effort into being more attractive. And so over time, the husbands simply don't find them sexy anymore. So is there any surprise that these men then go on to lust after other women, younger women, women who are more beautiful, who put more effort into their appearance, into how they present themselves? I don't think these men are bad people for doing this. They're not doing it out of a malicious intent to hurt their wife. They are a man. They've got high testosterone, high sex drive. They feel no sexual chemistry with their wife because their wife doesn't put in effort. But that cute 20-year-old intern in the office, she puts in effort to look very pretty. She dresses well. She acts very innocent, very feminine. So men, married men, especially are drawn to young women like that. Other women will continue to put in effort themselves, especially single women. So that's the key. When your wife starts to put in active effort into her physical appearance, I promise you, you will find her extremely sexy again. There's a tsunami of retarded dating coaches on the internet. When you go on Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube, these young men who preach about a wholesome traditional marriage, yet they themselves live a lifestyle of degeneracy. They're not married to virtuous women. They don't date virgins. They date whores, promiscuous, low quality trash girls. Yet they preach to their followers the opposite. If you went to them to get advice and you explained how you don't find your wife sexy anymore, they would tell you to break up. And that is really terrible advice because that woman could be your best friend. Besides not finding her sexy, she could be perfect in every other way. She could be a dutiful housewife, making sure everything is cared for, making sure you're looked after so you can work even harder, so your life becomes easier. She could be the mother of your children, making sure your children are raised in a wholesome, traditional, loving way so your son is respectful. He becomes a respectful man. And your daughter becomes a strong, virtuous, feminine woman. Would you terminate this kind of marriage just because this idiot dating coach who's never been married and never dated a woman with a body count lower than 50 tells you to break up? Of course not. I am literally the only man that I've seen who's genuinely telling young men, especially who are in long term committed relationships or marriages, this is how you fix your relationship. This is how you protect your marriage. My job, my mission is to make sure that every young man enters a fulfilling, loving, traditional marriage and keeps it that way. I don't believe in divorce, at least not until you have genuinely exhausted every single option. Why break up? You'll just find another woman. You'll get along really well. The sexual chemistry will be there, very intense, because you two are single and you just started to date. But then this issue will repeat itself. Over time, you will lose sexual attraction to her because she will stop putting in effort as well. So you break up with one beautiful soul of a woman. She may not be beautiful physically to you, but her soul, her values are beautiful. You throw her away in return for a woman that you do find sexy. But what if she's disrespectful? What if she's disobedient? What if she too stops putting an effort into her physical appearance? And now you lost a gem in exchange for trash. This is what I'll explain to you in this mini guide. When you make your wife your whore, no other woman can compete, and you will find her extremely sexy again. So, how do you make your wife sexy again? All you have to do is to make her your whore. I promise you, this is the only thing you have to do. If your wife genuinely looks sexier than any porn star, let's say if I snap my fingers like a genie and I make it so that you find your wife sexier than Angela White, that famous porn star that we probably all gooned to, Mia Khalifa, and so on. If you find your wife sexier than all those women, why would you lust after any other woman? Your own wife is 10 out of 10 in how you view lust. No other woman, whether she's virtual or in real life, can even compete. So you will lust after your wife, not others. It's so simple and it doesn't even require any effort. You'll be shocked. But I need you to reflect deeply now on what would make your wife a whore for you. Every man is different. We're individuals. We have our own desires, our own kinks. So what I find extremely sexy may not be 100% what you find very sexy. I found that there's very similar overlaps, meaning what I find very sexy in a woman, I can guarantee you will find sexy as well. But there might be that one or second thing that you find sexy that maybe I'm not into. And similarly, there might be one or two things that I find really sexy that you might not be into, and that's okay. She's supposed to be your whore because she's your wife. Just like I've made my wife my whore. So consider your kinks, your fetishes, no matter how degenerate or embarrassing they are. What would make your wife a genuine whore for you? Someone that you lust after. I'll explain two things later on, but let's say if you're really into feet, you love women's feet. You just find them cute and sexy, and you get turned on by the thought of looking at them when they're all pretty, by the thought of touching them. Maybe you like to suck toes. Listen, I'm not into that kind of stuff. I don't find feet attractive at all. But after I've spoken with a lot of young men that have a foot fetish, I can understand why a young man might find women's feet attractive. It doesn't do anything for me, but I get it. I understand. Similarly, what if you like pegging? Pegging is where you will get your wife to wear a strap on. That's essentially a dildo that she attaches around her pelvis. Then you, as the man, bend over and your wife penetrates your anus. Essentially, she's fucking you. Now, to me, that's possibly the gayest thing without causing any offense. It's a homosexual act for me because if I did it, then I'm getting penetrated by a dildo, which is essentially a cock. So I'm not into that at all. But if that's what gets your rocks off, if that's what you genuinely love to do sexually, then consider that. It's your wife. She's your property. It's your bedroom. It's your house. It's your marriage. Who gives a fuck what somebody else says? Again, these retarded dating coaches, they will shame you for your kinks and fetishes. They will tell you that if you're into feet, you're a weirdo. That if you like to be pegged, you're a faggot. I've literally seen them say these things. I don't agree with that. I may be disgusted by certain things. That doesn't mean it's wrong for another man or woman to do. A man and his wife have the right to enjoy their bedroom the way they want. You own her. She belongs to you. Why would you limit yourself in your own sexual freedom just because of shame from what other men will say? How will they even ever find out? Who cares what some dirty degenerate who dates whores has to say about you who's in a committed, loving marriage? Isn't that the whole point of being married anyway? That instead of entertaining tons of whores, you date one woman and you make this housewife your whore. Isn't that so much more wholesome and spiritual? So there's two things that I've found in making your wife your whore that are pretty much universal for all men. So make sure you do these two things that I tell you. But in addition to this, I want you to add on other things that you like, such as if you have a foot fetish, if you like to be pegged. It's your life, bro. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to help save your marriage. This is the first thing I want you to do. You need to get your wife to start wearing heavy makeup. So tell your wife, for this date night, say you're going to take her out for a really romantic dinner. Even you might not feel any sexual desires for her right now. Just take her out for a nice dinner. So there's some kind of occasion. But tell her, I want you to put on an extreme amount of makeup. And by heavy, I mean double, triple than what she normally wears for a date night, let alone what she wears inside the house, which is pretty much nothing. Your goal with this is to make her look like a cheap prostitute. Imagine you go to York City's red light district. where all the hookers hang out. You look at a woman, and within half a second, you know that she is a prostitute. How? Because of the way she looks, because of what she looks like on her face. Do you think a prostitute, as dirty and filthy as they can get, would wear mild makeup, walking around the streets waiting to get picked up by lonely men? Or do you think she would splatter her face with heavy ass makeup to show to these men, I will give you the wildest night of your life? That's what you want your wife to look like. She's not going to look like this for other men. It's for you. I want you to make your wife a personal prostitute just for you. And facial attraction is a huge subconscious desire for men. What I mean by this is, you may not have ever thought that you are really attracted to your wife's facial, as in what she looks like on her face. You might find her beautiful, you might find her cute, but you probably may not have thought that if she wears hell of a lot of makeup, I will find her more sexually attractive, even if she changes nothing else. But I guarantee you this is the case. If your wife wears heavy, heavy makeup, I'm talking double the amount of foundation, triple the amount of mascara, quadruple the amount of eyeshadow, a thick red lipstick, bright, made for sucking cock. If your wife did that for you, your erection will be the strongest as it's ever been, even when you didn't think it would affect the way you see her. I promise you, just do it. If you saw your wife in the morning, when you guys have just woken up, her hair's frizzy, she hasn't got any makeup on, she hasn't even done her morning routine yet, so there might be some blemishes on her skin, some spots. Her lips are quite chapped. She looks like a mess. Now, I want you to fantasize your wife like that giving you a blowjob. She's on her knees and she's sucking your cock. Does that excite you sexually? Not to me. I've just thought of my wife doing this, and I love my wife. If you know the type of traditional, very authoritative marriage that I'm in, where I am the master, even when I imagine my wife like this, I don't find her attractive. It wouldn't do anything for me. I probably wouldn't even be able to get hard. It'll feel kind of gross with her stinky breath, my stinky breath. She looks awful just because she's just woken up. Now I want you to imagine your wife doing the same thing, giving you a blowjob, but she spent 2 or maybe even 3 hours doing her makeup. She has a ton of foundation, mascara, eyeshadow, lipstick. It's all blended in really well. She looks like an anime thought. Now imagine her on her knees with that big, thick load of lipstick wrapped around your cock, sucking it like a vacuum on full power. Now we're talking. Now that's fucking sexy, isn't it? When I imagine my wife like that, I get rock hard. See the difference? The same act, but done in 2 different ways. One where your wife puts in no effort. The other, she puts in tons of effort on her face through heavy makeup. That now makes the sexual act of oral, a blowjob, 100 times better. So imagine if that really happened. Imagine if your wife really did look like a 10 out of 10 dirty slut, your personal cum slut. Would you lust after her then? You know you would. Imagine your wife with this heavy load of makeup being bent over, you behind her doggy style fucking her, and in front of you there's a large mirror so you can see yourself and you can see her. Imagine her heavy makeup face moaning. You're fucking her from behind so you can see her face in the mirror, and she's got her mouth open, her eyes are rolled back, and all you can see is that red lipstick and the sweat causing her mascara to run down her cheeks. How sexy would that be? Even though nothing about your wife has been changed. She's still the same woman. But now that she's put in a ton of effort in putting on heavy makeup, you will be rock hard. You would want to penetrate your wife hard and fast. You don't want to go slow and sensual. Tonight is a wild night. Imagine your wife with this same heavy makeup and she's getting ready for you to finish on her face. Imagine that thick load of your sperm being shooting out of your penis, your cock, and drizzled all over her face. Imagine when it mixes in with her makeup, becomes like this warm, sticky goo that just solidifies all over her eyes and her lips. The fact that she has this thick load of makeup and now this thick load of sperm, just fantasizing about this. Do you find that sexually exciting? Of course you do. That's the impact of your wife putting in effort. And I mean a little bit of effort, okay? It's not something that can be done in 10 minutes. It's very easy to do, but it does require some time and effort. That's the impact of when your wife wears heavy makeup. It enhances how you perceive your wife. That same woman that you're kind of disgusted by in the morning, you just want to get up and go to work because you don't really want to be with her sexually. Now imagine spending a night like how I've described where she's giving you a blowjob, you bend her over, you fuck her from behind doggy style, and then you splatter your cum all over her face. Imagine what that will do to your lust towards her. Imagine if that's the kind of sex life that you two have. How can any other woman compete when your wife makes you feel this lustful? Then the second thing you need to get your wife to do is to wear a tight mini dress. So tell your wife to go shopping. Tell her to find a dress that matches all of these criteria, not just one, not just two, but everything that I describe. A dress. So it can't really be pants, trousers. That's not sexy. Has to be a dress. Why? Because a dress can be rolled up. You can fuck your wife while she's wearing the dress without having to take it off. That's fucking hot. Tell her to get a tight fitting dress. One that essentially molds itself around her gorgeous figure. So not a sundress, maybe not even an office dress, although they can be quite sexy as well. But a tight dress, one that's quite stretchy. It might contain elastane, which is this stretchy thread-like material that gives dresses this ability to warp itself around a woman's hourglass figure, make it skin tight, so you can see all her curves. You can see her massive tits when she wears this dress being curved around it. You can see how the dress molds itself around her ass. She may look decent naked, but when you see your wife in a tight dress, it will do wonders for your sexual attraction for her. But it has to be mini length. So women's dresses come in 3 different sizes: mini, midi, and maxi. Maxi is the longest type. It literally goes below their feet. That's like what a woman would wear if she was getting married. You know how the dress kind of touches the ground? So it's beautiful. It can be very pretty, but it's not sexy. Midi is where it goes to about her knees, what a woman might wear in the office, something a little bit more modest. Again, it can be very pretty. She can look good in it, maybe a little bit sexy, but we can do better than this. Then there's a mini length dress. This is essentially a party dress what girls will wear on a night out when they go clubbing. The length of the dress goes just low enough to cover her ass. But if she walks, because it's so tight fitting and because it's a dress and not pants, you can see her bum, her glutes moving inside the dress because it's so skin tight. It warps itself around her ass. So when she bends over, think about what you might see, the heaven in between her legs. Isn't that so much sexier than seeing your wife naked. I'm going to open up now and tell you guys in Library of Adonis and for anyone else watching this a confession. I can't get an erection for women, including my wife, if they're naked. Naked women do nothing for me. Because when women are naked, I don't find that sexy. It's like a woman seeing me naked for the first time, as in she's never seen me before. This is the first time she gets to see me and I'm completely naked. Well, where's the build-up? Where's the fantasy? Where's the desires that need to be sparked in my mind? I want to build up the excitement first before I even see a woman naked. This is why a tight mini dress is absolutely key to finding your wife's natural figure 10 times sexier. The type of dress you need to look for, your wife needs to look for, is essentially called a bodycon dress. Bodycon meaning it's ultra tight. It's quite stretchy, so it's still quite comfortable. It's not overly fancy, like what you see women wear at fancy events where the clothing is very rigid, where she can't even move around, let alone bend over. She wouldn't enjoy being bent over in that kind of attire. But in a sexy, stretchy dress, she will be begging you to grab her by the hair and put her face down so you can dominate her from behind. It's even better if this dress shows off her neckline. So a lot of dresses, especially office dresses, because they have to have an element of modesty, the neckline will be covered or almost covered, meaning the dress goes all the way up until her neck, her collarbone starts. That's how most office dresses are like. But what if the cutoff for the dress was a lot lower? Not so low that she's essentially showing her tits and her nipples pop out, but enough that you can see the top half of her breasts. And because this dress is ultra tight, it pushes her breasts up. It accentuates them. It makes what features she has already look better. Just like as a man, how do you feel most sexy? When do you feel most sexy? Do you feel sexy wearing your gym clothes like a big hoodie, joggers, maybe like an undershirt, and you wear this because you're going out for a run? Do you feel sexy? You might feel good because it's easy to move around and it keeps you warm, but it's not sexy, is it? What if I took you to a bespoke tailor who hand cut a luxury suit for you, like what James Bond would wear? It's well fitting, it's tapered in the waist, a nice dress shirt, a nice tie, and a blazer and pants and nice shoes. You'd feel like $1,000,000, wouldn't you? That's the difference for women. When women wear traditional attire, that's not sexy. They don't feel sexy and you don't find them sexy. But when your wife dresses like a whore, like what a cheap prostitute would wear, now she feels sexy. Now you find her sexy. Now you're erect. Just seeing her. You haven't even touched her. Imagine feeling this skin-tight dress around her figure with your hands. Imagine you take your wife out for a date night and she's got this tight mini dress on and you just mold your hands around her figure to feel her hourglass shape. You're feeling her dress, but because the dress is so tight, it pushes her skin in, so it makes it so nice to feel. How would that feel to you? What would you be thinking about? You won't be thinking about your wife like the way you think about her first thing in the morning. Now you want her. Now you want to slap the shit out of her, push her head down, and just fuck her raw. These are the desires that are being induced in you simply because of what she's wearing. And imagine how more powerful they would be if she also had heavy ass makeup. Do this if you genuinely want to find your wife extremely sexy. Are you ready? Go find your wallet right now with your American Express card in. give that to your wife and tell her, go shopping. Buy whatever you want. It's on me. But it has to be these type of things. Makeup. Heavy fucking makeup. Literally say this to her or text her this. You're going to go out and you're going to buy all the makeup that you need to look like my dirty cum slut of a whore. And secondly, you're going to go out and you're going to buy lots of different tight mini bodycon dresses, especially ones that have a booby neckline that accentuate your wife's massive tits and make them look even bigger. Give her this clear instruction that I've just described and just think how she would feel now. You are not putting in any effort, are you? You've just told her what to do. She's your property. As a husband, as a masculine man, you have a right to command your wife to do anything that you want. Within reason, of course. Your wife has to be somewhat consensual to this. If you force your wife to go do this, but when she doesn't want to, then you have bigger problems in your relationship than just not finding her sexy. I'm strictly talking about the 99% of scenarios where the men, you love your wife. She's a great wife in how she's a housewife. She's a great mother to your children. She's obedient. She's feminine. She's respectful, but you just don't find her sexy and it's ruining your marriage. This is how you can save it. Then just get her to wear this sexy dress one date night and heavy makeup. It doesn't have to be a date night, but I am a big believer that any time you want to have sex with your woman, you should make a bang out of it, a spectacular event out of it, build it up. If you've seen my previous videos on the complete guide to male hygiene and my date nights guide, you'll understand just how powerful this can be. It can take a romantically dead marriage and turn it into something so lustful that even the porn stars will blush in the face seeing how you lust after your wife. If you do these two things, if you tell your wife to wear heavy, extreme makeup for you, and if you get your wife to buy lots of sexy, tight, mini bodycon dresses and wear them for you, now you have your own personal whore. Now you have your own personal porn star, your own cum slut. How many men have you seen talk about their wife in the way that I'm describing? My wife was a virgin when I met her. To this day, she reads the Quran. We're Muslim. She prays several times a day. Her family have roots in the Taliban. That's how strict her upbringing, her values are. But for me, this is what she'll do. And this is why I lust after her. I am not a special man. I haven't been blessed by God to have this 10 out of 10 marriage. I have worked really hard to build it to this level. Because I try things, I see what works, then I find ways to make it better, then I share it with you guys, my young followers. So I'm telling you, if you do this, you will never lust after any other woman and you will connect sexually with your wife. But you have to be the one to do this. You have to be the one to command your wife to go buy heavy makeup and tight dresses, to wear them for you in the manner that I've described. That's the only thing you have to do. It requires no effort. The rest is all up to your wife. This will save your marriage. Extreme heavy makeup and an ultra tight mini dress is what a porn star would wear, is what a prostitute would wear. Out of all your friends, you will be the only man who doesn't have any desire to jack off to porn, who doesn't have any desire to run like a dog at that 20-year-old intern because other men are doing it. You just can't wait to get home and missionary and doggy fuck your wife bloody. I believe as a masculine man, as masculine men, our wives are our legal and spiritual property. I own my wife. She belongs to me. I am her master. And she loves this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be married. If what I've just described, the type of relationship I have with my wife, wasn't for her, then why would she have married me? Why would our relationship be flourishing? It's amazing how well your marriage can work when you, as a masculine man, start treating your wife the way God wants you to, which is you own her. She is yours to enjoy. She is at your disposal for you to feel with your hands, with your lips, with your tongue, to touch her in ways that would make porn stars blush, to fuck her every night rather than watching porn and jacking off to degenerate virtual crap that is meaningless. Follow the two things that I've said, and your wife will become the sexiest woman you've ever seen, and I guarantee you, you won't be able to keep your hands off her.